It's no secret that the economy is looking kind of ratchet lately, and there's another R word that's floating around. So, if your sales have started to drop and you want to know how to continue to sell well throughout the upcoming recession, let's just say it. I am here today showing you exactly what I learned in 2008 that's going to change everything for you. And it has to do with jewelry, lipstick, and more. So, even if you're not in those industries, you'll want to pay attention because there was something really smart that these little luxuries came into during the last recession that changed their entire business and turned them into billion-dollar industries. Hi, I'm Christina Scalera, and I help you to blow up your business in the best way possible using digital products that move the needle and help you to sell passively 24/7, no matter where you are in the world. And this video will start right after you hit that like and subscribe button. Ready? Okay, so in honor of today's video, I am wearing a nice bright lipstick because there's something called the lipstick effect, and it's really important for anybody who wants to get through a recession effectively to know about. The lipstick effect is something created by, I think, one of Estee Lauder's sons or grandsons. Anyway, what he did is very smartly looked at the economy prior to every recession that's happened in the last few decades and noticed that when there was an approaching recession, right, hindsight's 2020, the lipstick sales in Estee Lauder ticked upwards. So they could predict when the recession was hitting by exactly how many cosmetic products, I guess lipstick in general, that they were selling. And this makes a lot of sense because if you think about it, during a recession, someone probably isn't able to as easily afford a Chanel bag, but they can afford a Chanel lipstick. So that is what they're going to do to continue to have that feeling of luxury without actually investing and drawing their bank account up. Now, another big player is Kendra Scott. So if you know Kendra Scott, and by the way, I have a gift card to Kendra Scott because I am terrible at wearing jewelry. Like, I just literally never do it unless it's permanently on me, like these rings. So yeah, I have this gift card and no earrings to show you, but I want to mention Kendra Scott because that is another billion-dollar business that was built during the last recession where she started selling small luxuries, namely earrings that had a very distinctive look and shape. And that has increased into boutiques around at least the United States, maybe even the world. And this is something that has really caught on because during a recession, especially, again, you're not going to be able to afford an entirely new wardrobe, but maybe you can splice it up a bit with some earrings, some rings, a necklace. And that's why Kendra Scott was able to grow so effectively as other businesses collapsed. Now, this is a channel about digital products and selling things online. So what does lipstick and Kendra Scott's jewelry have to do with your business? Well, there was a very important lesson I learned in 2008. I was super young, and something that I'm not very proud to admit is that in 2008, I didn't even realize there was a global recession happening. And you're probably like, that is, wow, well, good for you. You're super privileged. And yes, I was. But at the same time, there was something happening in my world that kind of sheltered me from it and gave me what I need to know to get through this next recession. During 2008, I was an intern inside one of the top Fortune 50, not 500, but top 50 companies in the entire world. And this company was going nuts. Like, they were selling as if nothing was even happening. And so me being super naive, super privileged, I didn't watch the news. I know I probably should, but like mental health, whatever. I just was not watching the news. I wasn't paying attention to anything. I, wasn't an avid Reddit user like I am now. So I just had no idea that anything was wrong because inside this internship, where this company that I worked for sold very, very small products, I was having the best time of my life. We were being treated to fancy dinners and recruiting events and everything that was trying to pull us in and become employees of this company. So I actually had no idea that this was such a big, very devastating recession on the economy until I was later on in my career, and I could look back and say, like, wow, like if I hadn't had that job, I would have had a very different life. And this was just an internship. It wasn't even an employment, but it was actually a better paying internship than when I clerked at a law firm. Like that's how great this company was to work for. And this company doesn't sell oil and gas. It doesn't sell any kind of commodity. It actually sells a very small consumable product. Lots of different brands, of course, but that's what they sold. And so during 2008, at the height of that recession, they were able to actually grow and be more profitable because so many people were buying their products when they couldn't afford an entire meal out. They could afford the chips that they were selling or the crackers or whatever else it was that they had available and for sale in all the different places around the country. So what do all three of these companies have in common that can help you? Well, the first thing that you'll notice is that they all sold something very small. For example, Kendra Scott sold earrings that cost less than $50. That's something that pretty much anyone can find a way to afford if they really wanted to without much effort. It's not like she was charging $3,000 for a handbag in her stores. The other company that I mentioned, Estee Lauder, was selling lipstick for probably around $15 to $20 a pop. And again, this isn't something that is crazy expensive, but does feel a little bit elevated. You know, it's not an everyday purchase. It's something that you might get once a month or a couple times a year. And the company that I worked for was actually selling something that people would consume every single day, albeit in the $5 or less price range. So these were foods and drinks and things like that, snacks essentially, that during a normal economic time, they sell fine, but during a recession, they sell like crazy because people can't necessarily afford bigger meals or eating out, so they treat themselves more to the products that the company that I was working for sold. During this recession, I think we're going to start to see the collapse of the middle ground on courses and coaching programs. We're going to start to see small, low-ticket items do very well, and possibly some high-ticket, high-end masterminds that are very effective at coaching their clients, not just kind of like a networking opportunity, but really truly offering a lot of value to their clients. We're going to see those continue to increase and grow. But I think the middle ground of courses, that $500 to $3,000 area, is going to be very difficult to sell and grow in, at least until things start to improve in the economy around the world, and especially here in the United States, if that's primarily where your client base is located. If you do not have lower ticket products, things that are $7, $20, less than $50, generally speaking, you are definitely going to want to start to add that into your product lineup and your offer stack, because if you don't have those types of products, you're going to be missing out on a lot of potential purchases that people would be very excited and willing to give to you, but maybe they just can't afford a bigger program with you right now because they're feeling the crunch of inflation and things that are happening in the bigger economical scale, just like everybody else is feeling that right now. If you have a course that's in that middle ground, now is a good time to start pulling some things out and selling those smaller pieces at a lower price point. The market is effectively forcing you to do everything that I've taught you here on this channel, which is why you'll want to binge watch the content here if you get a chance. Put it on in the car, listen to it like a podcast, whatever you need to do, because that's what I've been teaching for the last year and a half here on this channel. Some good examples of this include taking your online course and looking at one of the most popular modules or lessons within that module and pulling that out to sell by itself, maybe with the workbook that accompanies it or some kind of audio component, basically just selling a mini course or some kind of guided audio workbook type situation that you can pull out from that one lesson that teaches someone how to do something very small that's a bigger part of what you sell. One example of this is I have a client who had a very large online course. It was around the $1,000 price point, and she is in the B2C market, which means that she primarily serves people that are not business owners. And they were having a hard time affording $1,000. She started to notice sales dropping off. Nothing else had changed, so she was very quick to realize that it was the price point that was now scaring people away. So when she had a couple emails come in that were asking if they could just get specific modules within that course, she pivoted and started selling them on their own at $100 a piece. And 10 modules at $100 adds up to $1,000. But where you would have gotten $0 from customers before, now she was getting $200 or $300, people cherry picking which modules they wanted. and they were happy. She was happy to have the sales, and they can always upgrade later if she were to do some kind of promotion into the full course. Say if she runs like a $500 off sale, and now she's got a higher lifetime customer value for those customers who originally spent around $300. Now, if she decides to run a sale like that, she can upgrade them and make another $200 off of them. That's the first and easiest step to making sure that your business is not just recession proof, but actually booming during this downtime. The second thing that these three companies that I talked about previously all have in common is that not only are they selling little tiny luxuries that fulfill someone's happiness throughout their day, they're also providing a sense of stability and security to their customers. Because if you can't afford a Chanel bag, but you can afford a Chanel lipstick, you still feel like things are okay. Now, as this relates to your digital products, it means that you should start to think of ways that people feel more calm, activities, habits that they're in that give them security and stability in their life. So for example, one thing that you probably look forward to is receiving your favorite catalog in the mail, or maybe your favorite store who doesn't send a newsletter that often sent you one today. So start to look at those opportunities for you and your customers. Email marketing is going to be more important now than ever, especially emails that offer some kind of valuable content and they're not just selling all the time. So if you don't have any kind of email content going out, this is an easy and fast way to provide that daily or weekly connection with your audience and invite that stability into their life so that you become a trusted source of weekly entertainment for them that they can look forward to, and that bright spot that they have to open up during a lunch break or before work or whatever the case might be, so that they can look forward to interacting with you in some way. The more you can ingrain your brand as a habitual presence in their life, that is something that they have associated your brand with in their life. So if it's they always listen to your podcast when they're brushing their teeth, or they always know on Fridays, right before they take off for the weekend, they're going to get your newsletter. Those are things that are going to provide your customer base with assurances that you're here to just keep things normal and sane for them, because that's a lot of what people are looking for right now. And so just kind of doing the bare minimum as an online marketer and sending one email a week or putting one podcast out a week, whatever the case may be for you, that is actually going to be hugely beneficial, because we're going to start to see a lot of businesses drop out of that and not do that as much anymore because they're going to get scared. But that's the opposite of what your customers want. They don't want to see you scared, even if you are. They want to see you being steady and reliable and a source of constant companionship in that way, where they know they can always count on you. Speaking of content, the third thing you want to keep in mind that all these brands did that you'll also want to emulate during this next few years or so of this time period where we are in a depressed and then recovering economy is making sure that you are creating content that is security based and not as aspirational as we saw during the 2014 to 2021 boom. I think content that has to do with the nitty-gritty how-tos, tutorials, and just getting back in the weeds with your customers with where they're at in their business or whatever problem they're trying to tackle in their life, that's the content that's going to do really, really well during this downtime. And the aspirational content, you know, the travel content where someone is in Bora Bora or driving a Lamborghini, those are going to feel just like a little too excessive and unrelatable. So you're going to want to focus on content that resonates with your audience now more than ever. And that means that it's important for you to take a deeper look at the kind of things that they want to be learning about from you. So if you haven't asked them lately, what do you enjoy learning about? What is your favorite topic that I cover? You can do this through an Instagram story with a poll. You can send out an email survey to find this out, or you could just look at your top performing content over the last year or so and get an idea of what resonates with that audience. So by doing this, you can continue to create more topics on the same one that you saw is resonating with them. And not only is that going to go back to what I just said about creating that stability, that consistency in their life that they're looking forward to, it's also going to help you to sell more of those little luxuries that you now have available thanks to this video. And you can do so in a way that connects and hits home deeply with each of these people and also doesn't feel like as out of touch as some of the content that we probably saw that felt excessive during the 2010s. Business is going to look very different over the next few months, maybe even the next year or so, but that doesn't mean that you should give up and quit. In fact, right now is the best time for you to be experimenting with new content, as so many people exit the marketplace and stop trying to work for themselves, stop trying to serve clients and customers, and start trying to apply for jobs again with an ever-growing unemployment base that's competing for those jobs with them. So make sure that you are applying the tips here in this video, because that's going to help you a lot as you are trying to figure out what a new normal looks like for you in this time. One of the most important things you can take away from this video, especially if you are a leader and the face of your brand, is that people are going to be looking to you for consistency, stability, security. They're going to want products around these three things. And they're also going to want to experience things more than they're going to want to have things. So if you can provide an experience through selling your digital product or your content, then you are more likely to keep and maintain that customer base throughout any kind of down times in the economy. It's going to be these moments and experiences you're creating for your customer base that have a lot more impact than the currency of ye olden days, say a picture of you in front of a Lamborghini or a shelf full of purses or a beautiful house that cost $1 million. So make sure that you are really focusing on creating things that people need, making sure that they feel secure as they interact with you and see your content, and also prioritizing that experience with you and the moments that you can help them have in their life with your products above all else. If you're wondering what comes next after you've followed these 3 steps and you've started to create a recession-proof income, it's traffic. You're going to need more people to know that you exist. And that's why a video just popped up on your screen, and you'll want to watch that next, because inside I dive deep into the best ways for you to drive traffic to your digital products, especially if you end up creating a shop that houses all these digital products. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck. You've got this, and I'll see you in the next video.